Hi, everybody. Joe Reinecker with you. Welcome to this week's edition of Resource Central. Our guest today is Bob Meredith, a home health therapist. Correct me if that's wrong, Bob. A home health therapist for Mercy Home Health.
Home health physical therapist. Yeah.
Home health physical therapist for Mercy Hospital. Bob, welcome to Resource Central.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Today, we will talk about exercise for the disabled. And this has a great deal to do with something that happened to me. I'd say in the last six weeks to a month, I have been struggling with falling in the house that my wife and I now live in, and we were both getting concerned about it. I was falling a little too much, and my wife said, "You need some physical therapy." So I talked to Bob. You might need some physical therapy. So I talked to my doctor, and he said yes, and got with Bob, and he said yes. So I'm in the process of doing physical therapy through home health through Mercy. How long have you been?
Joe,
go ahead.
Just add
go
that,
ahead.
For us to be able to see someone, we have to meet 3 requirements. We have to have a doctor's order, doctor's prescription, which you have.
Sure.
The person has to be homebound, and there has to be some reasonable expectation that we can improve on their current level of function. So those 3 criteria being met, then we are able to bill Medicare for the service, and we go from there. So that's what it takes.
How long have you been a therapist overall, and what got you into the profession in the first place?
Okay, I've been a therapist for 36 years. I graduated from Kansas University in 1980. When I was 10 years out of high school and just leaving the Navy, I went to my 10-year high school reunion and talked to a friend who had gone to the University of Oklahoma, became a therapist, and was working in Great Bend, Kansas. And he asked me what I was going to do after the Navy, and my wife and I had talked about it prior, and I said, well, we're considering physical therapy. And he says, well, super, why don't you come out and spend the summer with me in Great Bend, Kansas, and see if that's something you're really interested in. So, through his good graces, I went out and spent the summer, and I said, yes, this is something I can do. This is something I would like to do. And that's how I got started.
How much does a person that is over 50, a disabled person over 50, need exercise and need therapy? Because
that depends.
I gotta be honest with you, Bob. Before I started falling all over the house, I didn't think I needed it.
I understand. It's better to work with someone who is motivated to participate. That's the one thing we cannot supply. We can teach, we can instruct, but if the person's not motivated to do it, then that's a real obstacle. But sometimes we start therapy and the patient sees the benefit, and so it's something that they continue. And exercise is something that a person needs to continue. It's a lifelong process. Life is
we
energy,
all know.
We need to spend energy. We need to spend energy every day. We try and work on practical stuff or functional stuff. Walking is very practical, but if a person doesn't have the leg strength or the arm strength or whatever, to get up and walk, then we work on those things as well. Walking is probably the easiest exercise to do to help your fitness. You don't need a special facility. You don't need special equipment. The weather has to cooperate a little bit, but you can dress for pretty much any weather. You just need a good pair of shoes. You dress for the elements. The one thing you can't dress for is heat. So in the summertime, we recommend that you exercise outdoors in the morning and before the heat of the day has a chance to build. Don't recommend walking out in the evening because, the earth has absorbed all that heat all day long and gives it off at night. So, if you have any breathing issues or anything like that, it's always best to walk and exercise in the morning in the summertime. Other than that, it doesn't matter.
What is the most gratifying part of your job?
Well, you know, again, you're working with people. You know, they've usually had some event in their life that has sort of taken their fitness away or their ability to walk. So, you know, we go evaluate the person, get them back on their feet, and that's the most gratifying. You know, we restore as much as we can the prior level of function that they had, and hopefully improve on that a little bit. And then the principles that we show them, if they just continue to do that, you know, their fitness improves over time. I think you know, for most folks, you know, you might want to ask the question, how much exercise is enough? You know, they used to say, if you want to maintain, you know, 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, will maintain your fitness level. And so anything above and beyond that, theoretically, will increase your fitness level. And I recommend you do something every day. If you exercise to exhaustion one day, you can't repeat that the next. You know, if you have a hard day, you have to follow that with an easy day, or still do something, still get up and go, but don't make it as hard as it was the day before. So easy, hard principle, or, you know, you could have several moderate exercise days in a row, and I think that's appropriate.
Would you consider a case like mine normal for you, or not normal, or just how would you consider a case like mine?
Again, we don't see folks in your situation all that often. We do see them. It really depends on the setting that you're in. You know, the home health setting, we typically see older adults, you know, Medicare age, that's you know, 65 and older. And again, they've either had a joint replacement, or you know, they've had some illness that has taken their strength away, something like that. So that's most typical what we deal with, you know, the older population. You're a young person, Joe, I must say that. So.
I was honestly thinking about doing it like 3 to 5 years from now, but that the following episodes kind of accelerated the process a bit. Right. So, you know, again, you have to determine the cause of the falling. And, you know, if that's a weakness, then you address that. If that's balance, you address that. So, you know, you gotta stay active. And I know, you know, Joe, you're at risk for falling. You're always going to be at risk for falling, but that's no reason to stop getting up and going. You know, all things in general, you know, the more you do, the more you're able to do. And unfortunately, the reverse of that is true. The less you do, the less you're able to do. So, what, you know, I probably asked this question. You probably answered this question already. But what's the easiest thing for a disabled person who feels they need exercise to do?
Well, you know, again, for not a handicapped person, or you know, in general, for people, walking is the easiest thing to do. But you know, you can do exercise from a wheelchair, you can do exercise from a bed, you can do exercise from a chair. But at some point, you have to translate that into movement. You know, if all you're able to do is stand and pivot into a wheelchair from the bed, or stand and pivot into a wheelchair from the chair, then that's what you work on. That's what you work to maintain and keep. You know, we ask patients to do the best they can every day, and everybody's abilities are a little bit different. So, you know, we take people at a case-by-case basis.
Would you be willing to say that everybody needs exercise, or are you willing? Are you
included?
Are you willing to go that far, or just how is it?
Yes. You know, we need to move. We need to function. You know, this is a great big world, and it depends on your goals. You know, if you're a grandparent and you want to keep up with the grandkids, you know, you need to be fit. You need to have certain level of fitness to be able to do that. And you know, if you want to travel, you have to have a certain level of fitness to do that. You know, we don't encourage people to stay in the chair. We encourage them to get up from the chair and go.
How are we doing on time, Andy?
It's about that time.
If somebody wants to get in touch with you, Bob, to discuss the benefits of exercise, how do they do it?
You know, they can contact me through Mercy Home Health, and I can give you that telephone number.
Go ahead.
1-800-464-7942. That number is good Normal business hours, Monday through Friday.
Our guest has been Bob Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Our business hours are 8 o'clock to 4:30. Just wanted to add that.
Our guest has been Bob Meredith, home health therapist for Mercy Home Health. This is Joe Reinecker, and this has been Resource Central. Have a good day, everybody.